Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we are going to be doing episode number 1 of I Build Your Teams, series where I build my viewers' teams to the best teams possible for showdown, competitive play, king of the court, whatever the case may be. Just try to help you upgrade your main squad to be the best that it can be and help you give advice on how to do that effectively. So, before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 30,000 subscriber mark on the channel. We're less than 500 subscribers away from 30K. Making real progress, and we're out here grinding in 2K25, so would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Actually less than 400 subscribers away now. So with that being said, without further ado, let's hop right into it, and let's start off with this first team today, which comes in from my boy 1003. He's got 50 KMT, and he says Michael Adams is now playing instead of that Anthony Peeler. All right, I like Vince Carter. Honestly, I like Josh Childress a lot if you need a budget backup small forward or shooting guard as well. Michael Adams, Derrick Rose, I mean, that's super fine at point guard. It's not incredible, like top tier, but it's not bad. Moses is a good big. Clint Capella, Marc Gasol, not terrible. You have a shooter and more of an athlete inside big. Sharif's a beast. Bruce Bowen's a beast. I don't know anything about this Ruben Patterson card. Have not looked at all of the Ruby gems of the game and stuff, but I'm sure he's solid. I know Sam Perkins is solid as well. And I look at this team and I go, what can you do with your MT? And the honest truth is, and this kind of goes for anybody who doesn't have a ton of MT right now and has not played Domination. Go play that Domination. If he gets Domination done this week, he can go from 50 KMT to 200 KMT. And all of a sudden, he could add Amethyst Jalen Brunson to his lineup as well. Maybe add a couple defensive badges to him, and he's a better point guard than both of your point guards. So you go play current Dom, all of a sudden you got Jalen Brunson, 200 KMT. And with 200 KMT, you can look to add a guy like a Jeff Ruland or an Anthony Parker, or guys like that if you wanted to continue to find upgrades. That's what I would target right now, is honestly just grinding out Domination so that you can build your MT stack. Get Jalen Brunson, who will help your squad and also make some more MT, which will give you the flexibility to add another card or two. Maybe you even just play Domination this week. Get towards, I mean, even Domination, it's going to give you the best levels you get as well. Use your double XP tokens. Get level up. So then you get Tracy McGrady as well. That's a shooting guard. You're going to get more rewards from leveling up. Like, you're going to get a variety of rewards from just playing the game, leveling up, in addition to Jalen Brunson, in addition to T-Mac. And I think overall Domination is just super rewarding, and it'll put you in a position where if you grind that out this week, you get to Friday, and all of a sudden you have 250,000 MT. You have Jalen Brunson. You might be close to T-Mac. You can pick up a couple cards from next Friday's drop, or if that doesn't have amazing value cards, go get a guy like Anthony Parker, Jeff Ruland, and your team's going to be looking really, really pretty. But right now, you got to make a little more MT to make that happen. Second squad today comes from Addie Smetar. He says he's got about 410 KMT, uses the MT mostly to snipe cards and maybe buy LeBron later. I don't know if I would recommend that. I have no idea how Hidden Gems Diamond Mike Dunleavy is, but I'm sure he's decent. Congrats on top 1% King of the Court, by the way. That's a W. This team, I look at this team and I go, you need another big and you need another guard. And realistically, if you can find like an Amethyst Gems of the Game Baron Davis for an affordable price, I think he's a good buy. Otherwise, Diamond Chauncey Billups at the point guard position is also a good buy. And then center position, I feel like it's got to be Jeff Ruland for his value. Gives you that combination of defense, the ability to stretch the floor a little bit as well, and good speed. I just think he's a better version of a center than Pau Gasol. So then you could slide Pau to the bench. Maybe you play Joanne back at 4 or KD back at 4, however you want to do it. But for me, I think Jeff Ruland would be a nice fit for this team, as well as a guy like another point guard who is, my brain's not working, but Chauncey Billups or Baron Davis. So I like the squad, though. You got a good team, and you're clearly solid at the game as well, getting Mike Dunleavy. So congrats on that. Big dubs. Next squad comes in from Mark, 160K. He says, what are the best places to upgrade? He's working through Dom, and T-Mac will be home soon. All right. So let's just say you have Jalen Brunson and T-Mac as your 1 and your 2. You still got Vince, Jawan, Alonzo. I don't dislike Alonzo. He's actually got decent speed. He can hit a wide open 3. Gasol's a bit slow. Tatum's better than JB. I'd move Tatum to the 3. Even if you have Brunson, you don't really have a great backup point guard because Kyrie's not great badge-wise, and Damon Stoudemire's 5'10". I think Eddie Jones is super good. Having him as your backup shooting guard when you have T-Mac is totally fine. But I look at this team and I go, where can you upgrade? And my thought immediately goes budget card like Sharif Abdur-Rahim at the backup 4, or maybe even at the starting 4, moving Jawan to the backup 4. So you have Tatum and Jawan as your backup 3 and your 4. Then that basically leaves you with a couple of spots to upgrade, which would be point guard and center. I think your point guard position is a more pressing need right now than the center position. Also, the center position is easier to upgrade with a budget or card. So if you wanted to go get a Pau Gasol as well, you get Sharif, you get Pau Gasol, you spend maybe 40 or 50K between those two guys. And then you're still going to be over 100K MT. At that point, if you wanted to go buy a Chauncey Billups at the point guard position, you could do that. If you want to save your MT and keep progressing, I get that. But I think that's going to be your biggest area of need after you get a couple budget guys like Sharif and Pau is that point guard position. And the best buyable option, again, is going to be an Amethyst Baron Davis or a Diamond Chauncey Billups. If you can get either of those guys, that would be perfect. Fourth squad today comes in from Mushu. He says he's no money spent, has about 100 KMT. I look at this team, and my number one initial thought is sell Bill Cartwright and sell Olden Pulinis, because both these guys look like they have original owner stickers on them. They're not unsellable. Go get whatever MT you can for them. They're both terrible. Steph is also auctionable, and I almost would say sell him too, because I don't think he's that great. He's not bad, but he's just expensive. But maybe not. I don't know. If you like Steph, I have no issues with keeping him. Giannis is very solid. I think Chris Gatling should be your starting center. I think he's actually a beast. Him and Giannis in your front court is going to be super solid. And then you could move Wemby to the backup 5. I say that. You could also just go out and get... Emerald Wemby's not bad, right? He's huge. But Pau Gasol's a better 5. You also need to find a way to get Sharif Abdur-Rahim into this lineup. Maybe you start him at the 3 and move Lamar to the backup 4 or backup 3. I don't really entirely know how you do that. And then you need another couple guards. It looks like you don't have the Pro Pass. If you had Pro Pass Vince Carter, that would be a great shooting guard. Outside of that, Josh Childress right now, the Sapphire, is going to be your best affordable option as a shooting guard. There's no real good budget point guard right now that I can tell you to get, because there's just nobody under that 20,000 MT mark or so that is super affordable at the point guard position that's actually worth using, in my opinion. So, but I would say, even right now, I'd be using Levine over Kennard probably, just a little more complete. I know Kennard's got an awesome release, but I just think Mike Miller, Kennard, neither of them play any defense at all. Don't love those cards. I almost think getting the Pro Pass isn't a bad idea here. But with 100 KMT, again, you have a couple spots you can upgrade. You can get a Pau as a big. You can get a Sharif Abdur-Rahim / Bruce Bowen, one or both of those guys to play your small forward / power forward positions. Josh Childress, the shooting guard, is pretty much a must, I think, right now. And then after that, you can just continue to save. And you could spend bigger as well if you wanted to, again, on a Chauncey, on a Baron Davis. Maybe even a Ruby D'Anthony Melton. The Gems of the Game, Ruby D'Anthony Melton is really good as well if you could find a cheaper one of him. But I think this team's okay. I just think it needs a little bit of work. And I think you can definitely get some progress going, but definitely would start Chris Gatling as well. So that's some good budget names to target for this squad. Lebronto has 115K with Baron Davis, Vince Carter, Jason Tatum, KD, and a sellable Pau, Jawan, Taj Gibson. I have no idea if Taj Gibson's any good at all. Jay Rich, Rick Barry, and Derrick Rose. Don't mind your point guards. I assume Jay Rich is solid at shooting guard. I don't really know that for sure, but if you're using him over Josh Childress, he's probably decent. Tatum is good. Rick Barry, I don't know. It's unsellable, though, so I'm not going to say get rid of him. Same thing. Taj Gibson's he's a hidden gem. He's probably okay. I have never looked at that card, so I have no idea if he's good. If you like Taj Gibson, you're probably chilling. If you don't like Taj Gibson, then you could look to slide Jawan to the backup power forward, and you could look. Is it going to be a bit expensive to buy a Jeff Ruland? Yeah. Slightly cheaper might be Cliff Robinson. You could potentially target him too. I like him as a card. I feel like that would probably be the biggest area that you could upgrade right now, though. Also, just Ruby Sharif Abdur-Rahim over Rick Barry and Jason Tatum. He's better than both of them. Just getting him as a small forward, even a 3-and-D like Bruce Bowen as well. One of those two guys would be a nice little upgrade. Or even both if you wanted to play Sharif at the power forward position. There's a couple different areas you could go, but you have Pau, who's super solid. You got solid point guards. Vince is good. Just this is an area where you're looking at the different budget cards, deciding which ones fit your team between Bruce, Sharif. Again, potentially spending more MT on a center like a Jeff Ruland or a Cliff Robinson if you wanted to do that as well. A few different options that you can do with this team, and hopefully that will help. And then the final squad today comes in from Mambi. He's got about 70,000 MT. Needs any type of upgrade suggestion. Well, number one, your squad isn't bad already. I don't love Kersey as a small forward value-wise just because he's 60K, and you could sell him and swap him out for Sharif Abdur-Rahim, who admittedly is not quite as good, but provides pretty similar stuff on the court. You could even swap him out for a Bruce Bowen as well if you want more of a 3-and-D. Again, I know I keep bringing those names up, but that's because they're really good. Embiid, I would sell, honestly. I just think you can get probably 20, 25 KMT for him, and I just think realistically, him as a center, you can swap him for for Pau Gasol pretty much at basically no cost, and I think Pau is a better version of Embiid, basically. Better badges, similar size, slightly better shooter. Like, I think Pau is just a better version of Embiid. He's a couple speed faster as well. So for me, that's a very easy swap, just going Pau for Embiid right there. Outside of that, this is the type of squad where if you have the time today, I think this would be a good day to grind out the Gems of the Game Amethyst pack if you haven't already, because you have the potential to get a center out of that, whether you get an Anthony Davis or Chris Gatling or Clifford Robinson or a Elvin Hayes, Moses Malone, Nene. There's a bunch of good power forwards and centers, even a power forward like Aaron Gordon. A lot of good Gems of the Game cards that can play the power forward position or the center position that would be really, really nice upgrades for this team. Also, I would use Ruby Sam Perkins over Marc Gasol, just my opinion. Better speed. I think he provides a little bit more all-around ability at the center position, so that's another swap that I'd make because you do have him. But definitely for me, would sell Embiid for Pau and then grind out that Gems of the Game pack. See if you can add a good card to your lineup. Even if you got Baron Davis, he'd be your best point guard, so he'd be a nice upgrade as well. If you got Baron Davis or any of the good bigs, I think that would help your team out a lot. And I do think with the amount of MT you have, it just wouldn't hurt to swap Kersey for a Bruce Bowen or a Sharif Abdur-Rahim to save you 30,000 MT or so. I just think, again, logically, if you can make your MT go further, build a little bit of an MT stack, and keep your team about the same or even a little bit better, that is probably the target that I'm looking for with this squad. So with that being said, that's the final team in today's video. Hopefully I did help y'all out, and we're going to be doing this series every single week, so be on the lookout for a tweet about this series on my Twitter each week if you do want to participate. Hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.